to Beauty by Hannah B. The next video in the Essentials series is about makeup tools. I think beginners can be quite overwhelmed when they find out how many tools makeup artists use, and it seems a bit inaccessible. So I just wanted to talk about the things that I think are the most important tools. It's not a big set, so don't worry about that. The first thing that I think is really important to have in your tool set is a really good pair of tweezers. These are mine. I've had these for years, but I did spend a little bit of money on them. Cheap tweezers are not good. I would not recommend them. They don't close together well. It's really hard to grip the hairs and you can pinch yourself, which is very painful on the skin around your eye. My tweezers, I'm not sure if you can see, have a slanted tip. This is much better for accessing all different types of hairs. Some hairs are really hard to get hold of, and if you have a flat-tipped pair of tweezers, you can actually end up pinching your skin, which is really uncomfortable. So I would definitely recommend spending a little bit of money and getting a good pair of tweezers that have a slanted tip. You can get them in Boots and Superdrug, in any other store like that. Mine are from Boots, and as I say, I've had them ages, so it was a really good investment. The next tool that I have, which I use on a regular basis, is baby shampoo. Sainsbury's own brand, but you could have anything. I use this to clean my brushes. Now, makeup artists and the industry in general recommend that you clean your brushes after every use. I think if you're doing other people's makeup, that's very important. But when you're only ever doing your own makeup, it seems a bit overkill to me. It can be quite time consuming to clean your brushes all the time. I think I clean mine. I'd like to say I clean mine regularly. I don't. I clean them when I think that they've got too dirty or they're holding too much product and I need a fresh start. Another really important tool when you're applying your makeup, cotton buds. They can help you clear up any little mistakes, especially when you apply mascara. I'm not sure if you find this too, but I often get it, I slip and get it on the skin above or just under my eyes. So Q-tips are really great for soaking in a little bit of cleanser and just wiping off without having to restart your makeup. They've got 1,001 uses and they're not expensive at all, so I would definitely recommend having this in your toolkit. The rest of the toolkit is mostly about brushes. I think this is the part that's most inaccessible to people. It seems like you need a whole array, and you can have as many brushes as you want, but I'm going to try and narrow it down to the essentials that you will need. The most important brush you'll need is one to apply your foundation. I like to use a flat-topped brush. I use a liquid foundation, so it works really well, but you can also get a flat foundation brush which works equally well, and I also like those. If you use a powder foundation or anything else, the brush type will be different, and you can look up what the appropriate brush is for your foundation. But I don't think foundation is applied well without a brush, or if you prefer a beauty blender. Sorry, it's a bit dirty. As you can see, I haven't cleaned my brushes recently. I've bought the Beauty Blender recently to give it a try. I'm not sure on it still. I think I need more practice with it. I would stick with a brush for now, especially if you're a beginner. Next brush I think is the most important is a powder brush. So a really big, nice fluffy brush. Again, I haven't cleaned this one for about a week or so, so it's a bit cloudy. This brush is great for use with a pressed powder, and we'll talk about makeup essentials in another video, but I would definitely recommend getting a big fluffy powder brush. I'd also recommend, along the same lines, a separate brush to use with your blusher, just because if you, for example, have used your powder brush for a bronzer or a darker colour, if you then try and use the same brush for your blusher, you're going to end up with a real mix of colours and it'll look slightly odd. So try and keep those two separate. A blush brush, I would not have it quite so fluffy. The fluffier the brush, the less precise your application is going to be. Top tip. The other brush that I think is essential is an eyeshadow brush. Eco Tools, which I'll talk more about in a second, do these great ones that are double-ended, which is fantastic, so you get two brushes in one. With eyeshadow you want a nice fluffy brush, I'm not sure if you can see that, which will allow you to get colour all over your eyelid nice and easily, and then a smaller, more compact brush which is less fluffy, which helps with applying eyeshadow in a more defined area. I honestly don't think that as someone who doesn't wear makeup often or only wears a little bit of makeup, you need any more brushes than that. The only thing I would say is if you're using 2 different colours of eyeshadow, for example, you probably want 2 brushes to, otherwise in the same way with your blusher and powder brush, you don't want to get your colours mixed up. So really 5 brushes I would say is all you need at least to start out. You'll probably find as you get more confident with your makeup application that you may want more brushes to do different things, and in future videos I will recommend brushes if I think that you need them, but as a core set this is pretty good. You can buy brushes in most Boots and Superdrugs. There's a couple of brands which I would recommend. Real Techniques brushes are my preferred brand, but they are quite pricey. You can pick up cheaper brushes and they will work just as well. I actually went out the other day to see what you can get, and you actually get some really good sets, kind of like starter packs. This one particularly by EcoTools, which I mentioned earlier, I love. So EcoTools make their brushes out of bamboo rather than any synthetic material or animal hair, which is nice. I prefer. And the set comes with the nice big fluffy powder brush that we mentioned, also a small foundation brush, an eyeshadow brush, and also this one on the end which we will talk about another time. It's a good starter makeup brush set which you could go for if you didn't want to buy the brushes individually. If you want something a bit prettier as well, they actually had this set come out which I fell in love with and I really didn't need, but I bought anyway. And this comes with a few different brushes. You see the shape of this one here has more of a curved shape, so it's more defined if you were going for a contour type look. This is a great foundation brush that I mentioned earlier with the flat front, and again eyeshadow brushes and a concealer brush as well. So a couple of different options for you there. I hope that was a good intro to brushes, but if you need any more guidance I'd be happy to help, just comment below. But yeah, I think that's it for your basic tools for makeup application. See you soon.